She was still involved with the Audubon Society, keeping the bird she loved most in her home. I was very distressed in a moment of lust, when instead of me, she grabbed her cockatoo. Occasionally she would fool her cockatoo, offering it food and taking it away. Then I realized she was a cockatoo teaser.
Some portions of the following program may be found indecent or objectionable with some members of the listening audience. Therefore, listener discretion is advised.
Knowing La Contessa so intimately, I was surprised her favorite bird was a cockatoo. I always thought it would be the swallow.
I'm just gonna trust that y'all use this song responsibly. No intro.
There's more to a water well than meets the eye and lips. It's really a well system with many parts that can affect water quality. A variety of well system components are designed to keep out contaminants that are harmful to health and otherwise affect the water's appearance, taste, or odor. The National Groundwater Association advises household well owners on how to maintain their well systems and other information about wells, water quality, and groundwater protection at wellowner.org.
Mermaid in my bathtub.
Man, it's good to be back here in Cleveland.
Cleveland has a long and storied place in the history of jazz, and the Bop Stop has served as the city's home of jazz for 30 years.
But people around the country know how great a club this is.
Hi, I'm Bop Stop director Gabe Pollock. Join me weekly as we tap into this rich history and more as we bring you some of the best performances by regional, college, and national artists that have graced our stage.
Live at the Bop Stop, Tuesday at 11 a.m. on WRUW-FM, Cleveland.
All right, everybody, welcome to Live from Cleveland Tonight. I'm Rachel H., and tonight I'm joined by a really special guest. Stephen, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, yeah. My name is Stephan Haluska. I'm the managing director of a nonprofit concert series and music festival organization called CUSP, Cleveland Uncommon Sound Project. And we are gearing up towards a music festival on June 9th through 12th called Resound. It's at various venues on the west side in Cleveland, including Bop Stop, Kaiser Gallery in Tremont, Coda, and some music workshop type programming as well at the Music Settlement in Ohio City and at Terrestrial Brewery. So we have a large range of venues, and we specifically program new and experimental music from both local and national and international talent.
Let's start a little bit by talking about the actual nonprofit that this is run through, Cleveland Uncommon Sounds Project. Tell me a little bit about the nonprofit and how that got started.
Yeah, so we were founded in 2017 by the previous directors, Noah Evan and Sophie Ben, and so they kind of came up from just like hosting, in more casual, classical, contemporary classical, new music, experimental music kind of concerts just in the area. They're both musicians themselves. And then they formally came together to found this organization. And they constructed it, through through the pandemic, and so we had two festivals. We had one in 2018 and one in 2019. And then the pandemic hit and certainly disrupted everything. And so we put that next festival on hold, and then we came back last year with it just as videos. And it was very cool. It's kind of choose your own adventure kind of style. But this year we're very happy to be back as an in-person festival again. And so I took over prior to the beginning of this season as the new managing director.
Mm-hmm. And is this the only kind of festival that this group does? Do you do any other programming or workshops throughout the year?
Yeah, we do mostly do regular programming. We had a more condensed season this year than usual, but we're hoping to have, just every year again to rebuild, to regroup and to grow again. But yeah, we have a regular schedule of concert events throughout the year as well. And but the festival's kind of it's like the flagship events, and so we have 8 events over 4 days.
And so Uncommon Sounds, how would you describe the type of, I know you said a little bit of there's different electronic music, but how would you describe kind of the uncommon sounds that you're going to hear at this festival?
Yeah, so we program specifically, artists, musicians that are kind of outside the norm, outside of kind of like the rock, pop, hip hop kind of sphere. And so, specifically new and experimental music. And so we kind of use the term new music as like a broad umbrella term that has, music mixed with all sorts of influences, but kind of has a connection in some way to, classical music composition in some capacity. And it could be, really just by virtue of what instruments it is. It could be like a string quartet playing something that you wouldn't hear a string quartet playing. Or it could be a mix of kind of sounds that you might hear in like more of a concert hall setting with electronics, or maybe, things that might sound more, in the more of like jazz or free improvisation or noise music, but kind of still has this idea, the spirit of like, explorative music composition. And we all, and not all of our musicians might subscribe to that kind of term.
Right.
And we also like to use the term experimental music as well as an accompanying term.
Awesome. Yeah. So maybe like a little avant-garde, but it doesn't have to be that way. It's really kind of open for interpretation, and I enjoy that as well. Like, yeah.
And so we have a very eclectic lineup, and you'll hear it as well.
Yeah.
And so very, very broad, diverse lineup of humans and diverse styles, and so we're very excited.
And instrumentation too. There's a lot of different instruments on here, and one of the reasons why we weren't able to do like a live program for you tonight is because many of these musicians are traveling in specifically for the festival. Tell me a little bit how you found some of these groups to work with, and how the groups that you did choose to work with made it on your schedule.
So we put out a call for performances back in September, I believe. And so we got nearly 100 submissions.
Wow.
Between both the performances and some workshop facilitation. And so, we sorted through nearly 100, submissions. And we set up a committee of, regional and local, people to kind of help us sort through this.
Right.
And so so we had a whole separate selection committee. So I had actually no part in the selection process myself. And so, we tried to figure out what made the most sense. We wanted some local artists, some regional artists, some nationally touring artists. We even have an artist coming down from Canada. So
International.
We're an international festival now. Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
And so, so we wanted to, have geographical diversity. We wanted to have stylistic diversity, just, broad range of, different kinds of music and different kinds of like performance experiences. And so I think we did a really good job, having, a range of electronics, a range of acoustic instruments, a range of small groups, solo groups, larger type groups. I think the biggest group we have is like a 9-piece ensemble.
Wow.
So
awesome. And did you get like the kind of the submissions? Did you listen to any of the submissions before they were voted on?
Oh, absolutely.
I know. Were you like gunning for some people that like couldn't be on it? Because I know every year, when we do like Studio Rama here, we have to listen through everybody, and you're really gunning for some that maybe don't make it.
Oh, absolutely. And so, we're a small organization. Yeah. We had some big name submissions that we're just we're really flattered that they want to be part of this, but we have a limited budget, and so it's hard, to have these bigger profile names on, a festival, just, this many people.
Yeah. This is an awesome opportunity. I mean, do you find that people are going to travel in for this as well? Because I don't necessarily know of that many festivals that do cater to experimental music like this. You probably know better than I do, but
I hope so.
Yeah,
That's the idea. We try to make Cleveland a destination for this kind of stuff for this weekend. And so, certainly most of the artists we have programmed this weekend are out of town, are out-of-towners. And so we have a, of the lineup, we have 10 artists, and 3 of them are Northeast Ohio locals. And again, we have people coming in from New York City, people coming in from around the Chicago area, so we have all sorts of people coming in from all different directions.
Awesome. Well, I really want to get to playing some of these artists' work so that people know a little bit more about what to expect. If you are interested in finding out more information about this particular festival, you can go to www.uncommonsounds.com/festival-program, or just check out the nonprofit website as well, the source code there, or the source HTML there. And you can find the entire schedule of events on their website. Again, this will be running from June 9th until June 12th. One of the first groups that we're going to hear a little bit from is Warped Trio, who are actually kicking off the festival. So
yeah, they are.
Tell me a little bit about them.
So they are actually going to be performing as a 4-piece instead of a trio. So
okay.
For this, so it's very
Warp
exciting.
Quartet.
Warp
Yeah.
Quartet, yeah. So they're a violin, cello, piano, and percussion group, and they they kind of blend kind of more of that classical music element, but with like, I don't know, they like rock out at times. They kind of blend like elements of like hip hop with it. They get pretty avant-garde too, and so it's a great way to kick things off. They're very, very talented. They're coming in from New York City. Very excited to be seeing them, and they're a great group to be kicking things off.
Have they played in Cleveland before?
I don't know. I know one of them has a Cleveland connection. I think he went to school around here, but as a group, I don't know if they have.
Okay. They're going to be playing at the Bop Stop June 9th at 7:30 p.m. They're going to be is Robin Blake Sound Experiment opening or following them?
So they're going to follow them. Yep.
They're going to follow them. Awesome. Robin Blake Sound Experiment, who you've probably heard if you listen to Live from Cleveland in the past. They have been on the show in the before times. And you're also going to have a really awesome workshop not workshop, but after party that evening.
Yeah, following the Bop Stop show, as soon as things clear out there, we're all gonna meander over to Terrestrial Brewery, a little bit down the street there in Gordon Square for our official after party. And so it's not just any after party; it's a audience and musician and festival musician participatory after party. And so we're going to take over their stage for a drone improvisation. So feel free to bring your instruments, bring your amps. You can hop on the drone, you can hop off, however long you want. And really kind of, it's all about this collective community sound.
Awesome. All right. So we are going to start off with a little bit of Warp Trio or Warp Quartet, as you'll hear them on June 9th. This is going to be the song Suite 4 Amplified Piano Trio and Drum Set 1 Invocation here on Live from Cleveland. Stay tuned. After this track, we're going to be talking more with Stephan Haluska from the Uncommon Sounds Project here on Live from Cleveland. All right, you just heard Warp Trio from their album Circadian Vibes. We heard the song Suite for Amplified Piano Trio and Drum Set 1, Invocation. We're here today with Stephan Haluska, who is the director. Would you call it the director?
Yeah, the managing director.
Managing director of Cleveland Uncommon Sound Project, or CUSP, the acronym for the project. And we're talking about Resound, a new and experimental music festival that's going to be taking place here in Cleveland from June 9th to June 12th. We've got some awesome venues, including the Bop Stop. The group that we just heard from, Warp Trio, they will be playing at the Bop Stop on June 9th, 7:30 p.m., kicking off the festival. And then the next day, we've got them doing a workshop at the Music Settlement in Ohio City. Stephen, tell me a little bit about that one.
Yeah, so on June 10th at 5 p.m., Warp Trio will be hosting a workshop on improvisation, on free improvisation. So the idea of collectively composing in real time. And so it could go a couple of different ways. They're pretty flexible. It's open to anybody who wants to show up with an instrument or not. You're welcome to show up and just witness as well, and just take in the insight from them. And so, if there's a lot of people participating, they might break it up into a bunch of smaller groups and have some small group improvisations. If it's, a little bit less, they might just do one larger group improvisation. They might do a variety of both. But, again, this is at June 10th at 5 p.m. At the Music Settlement in Ohio City, which is just maybe 2 blocks east of the Bop Stop. So kind of right there in that Hingetown neighborhood.
And so for the workshop, do you anticipate mostly musicians attending this? Is there going to be some general audience members? How what do you think the diversity of that is going to be? I
don't know. I would love for there to be a variety of different kinds of musicians, from professional to people who are more hobbyists, who are interested in improvisation, to people who, maybe just want to show up and listen, and hear what, some professional improvisers have to say on the topic and how they can direct a group.
Awesome. And this is a really cool experience to not only come to a festival that incorporates workshops, but also to, then be able to kind of participate yourself. So that's a great opportunity for people to get a little deeper into the music there. Then later on that night, so I would assume people are just going to walk over afterwards. Maybe you have to have a short
break, have some dinner. Yeah, exactly.
At the Bop Stop, there are 2 groups playing that night.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, so Bop Stop at 8 p.m. on June 10th. Yeah, we have Eunbi Kim, who's coming in from New York City, a fantastic pianist who's doing a performance of piano and electronics, so live processed piano. Sounds magical. It's wonderful. Cool. Not to be missed. And then following that is local Slow Spin. She's a visual artist and sound artist in addition to being a musician. And she blends. She's a Pakistani American. She blends elements of South Asian vocals with her kind of ambient electronic experimental music, and she's going to be doing something that she describes as a sound bath.
We actually have some music coming up from Slow Spin, so I want to hear a little bit of that. I actually have never heard of her before, and I always pride myself on staying up to date here for Live from Cleveland, so I'm really excited to hear this. Actually, let's take a listen to the song that we've picked out here for Slow Spin. We're going to listen to the song Odd Ways. And this is from EP 6, which is out now. If you want more information about Slow Spin, you can find them on SoundCloud.com. And also wanted to shout out to, from our last group, Warp Trio. We were playing that from their Bandcamp page, so you can support them there if you so choose. Here is Slow Spin here on WRUW. You're listening to Live from Cleveland. Stay tuned. We're going to be hearing more artists from the upcoming Resound Festival here in Cleveland. Right, that was Odd Ways, a Cleveland-based sound artist and visual artist. What were it?
That was Slow Spin.
Slow Spin.
Yeah. Yeah, then the track was Odd Ways.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Track was Odd Ways. I can't read today. Yeah, track was Odd Ways from the artist Slow Spin. One of the things that we were talking about actually while listening to the music a little bit was how the schedule of events has been curated for Resound, the new and experimental music festival that's going to be happening June 9th through the 12th here in Cleveland. Stephen, would you like to talk a little bit about how we've paired these artists together for these shows?
Yeah, so the opening night at the June 9th at 7:30 at Bop Stop, we have WRUW Trio paired with Robin Blake's Sound Experiment. And they're both a lot more high energy performers, and so we think that's a great way to kick things off, with a lot of intense energy, get the party started. And then the following night, the Bop Stop show at 8 p.m. on June 10th, we have kind of a softer side of experimental music, with Unbi Kim and Slow Spin. They're both kind of more, I don't know, it's slower music, it's more expansive music, and so, it's certainly, so we're kind of going to take things down a little bit, in the second act, so to speak. And which will, gear us up for really the biggest day on June 11th, where we have 3 events. And so we're going to kick things off with another workshop on June 11th at 2 p.m. Back at the Music Settlement in Ohio City with a workshop by Amelie Fortin, coming down from Montreal, Canada. And she's a trumpet player and does a lot of work with trumpet and electronics. And it's awesome. It's super cool. And so she's giving a workshop on her insight into working with, an acoustic instrument and electronics and combining these two elements and working and collaborating with electronic artists. And so very, very insightful no matter what instrument you play, whether you're, a musician or not, I'm sure, and even if you're, an electronic artist, it's a great insight into working with acoustic instruments as well.
For these workshops, did the artists have to submit proposals for them as well? Yeah,
so there was a whole second set of proposals that, at the same time that we did the call, we did a call for workshop proposals in addition to performance proposals. So all of the artists who are giving workshops are also performing as well.
Perfect. And then at 4:00 that day, you do have some programming at Kaiser Gallery. I've actually never heard of this space before.
It's a newer art gallery that opened up in Tremont, right there on Professor. Is that the main drag?
One of the
main drags.
I think it is. Yeah.
It's a great place. They've only been open for maybe a little over a year or so. They have a cocktail bar right inside, and
go anywhere.
Yeah. And not only that, they are designing a special cocktail for Resound.
Very cool.
Inspired by the two artists playing there at the 4 p.m. concert that day. Yeah.
Have you tried it yet?
I haven't. I have no idea. It's gonna be a surprise for me as well up until June 11th at 4 p.m.
Well, tell us a little bit about the artists that are going to be playing. Maybe we can put in our guests or like bets of what it's going to taste like. Yeah.
So we have two more acoustically minded artists, and that's kind of the through line why we paired these two together. And so we have Danielle Kuntz, who's a harpist coming down from Ann Arbor, and so she's playing several pieces for solo harp, kind of this nice dreamy acoustic harp sound. And we're going to listen to her in a minute, but we're also the other artist playing that same concert is Desho Voce, and they are a saxophone and soprano voice duo, and so they're playing a variety of music for that, including one with electronics.
I think it might be bourbon based, or maybe based on your description of those two groups. And then that evening, so this is the long day. This is the Saturday, which is great. We have a couple more artists playing at Coda. What is the theme of this night, or the curation aspect of it?
Definitely more fun. Late night. Coda. It's a bar venue.
Yes, yeah.
So it's definitely more fun.
Coda has, even though their mural on the back wall is all rock and roll stars and things like that, it does have kind of a jazz loungy vibe. Like of New York City, down in the basement, kind of vibe to it.
I played there many times myself. I love that venue. Yeah. Oh yeah, and so we have Elephant Ornament, another local. Graham Rosen, if you know him, he does a lot of live sound and a lot of audio recording, as well as being a really awesome electronic musician.
I didn't know that he was a musician outside of recording, so you're teaching me a lot of new things here tonight.
Yeah. So he does kind of this collage based kind of beats. It's kind of abstract beats, but he actually does a lot of recording from these sessions and uses that as like some of the source material, and then kind of recontextualizes it, and sometimes it kind of has a jazzy vibe, sometimes it's a little more like more experimental, sometimes it has a bit of this kind of classical collage, but yeah, it's very cool. He'll get the party started there at Coda at 9 p.m. and then following that we'll have Emily Fortin performing trumpet and electronics, music for trumpet and electronics, and her stuff is awesome and really really intense and really kind of dramatic, but it's and she has some video elements as part of that too, so that'll be great. And then closing out that, so this is the only concert we have 3 acts, but closing out the 9 p.m. Coda concert, we have Nick Zulik from Chicago-based saxophone composer performer playing just really rhythmically aggressive saxophone, mostly on baritone sax, circular breathing, all kinds of really kind of growls through the instrument. Oh, it's so cool. Yeah, so definitely check him out. So this is definitely going to be like, a bit more of the party, but it's going to be dramatic at times too. And so, Coda is an excellent place for that. Yeah.
The whole schedule of events for Resound can be found on their website. You can get to it through uncommonsoundcle.com. And there is just a wonderful schedule of events. You can actually scroll through it, and it gives you photos and biography information, as well as links to all of the groups that are playing. It's a really nice setup there.
Thank you.
Did you make this?
Yes. So me and my assistant Drew Hostler made it. So yeah, he assembled it. He's very good with the graphic design elements, and so yeah. But yeah, Thank you. I'm very proud of this too.
There's also is there also information on purchasing tickets to this as well?
Absolutely. You can find ticketing information as well on www.uncommonsoundclee.com. There's a whole Resound 2022 tab with, again, the whole program booklet, digital booklet, as well as the ticketing information.
And I don't want to talk too much about it, but is there individual tickets for each night? Is it like a whole all-in-one pass?
We have both. So we have a full festival pass, and we have tickets for each individual event.
Awesome. That is perfect. So yeah, again, one more time, that can be found at www.uncommonsoundcle.com. We want to play some more of these artists because we are getting a little low on time here on the show. I do want to remind people, and I know that we're not going to have any, it's all instrumental for the most part, I think, coming up. But just so everybody out there knows, some of the following material may be found objectionable by members of the listening audience. Therefore, listener discretion is strongly advised. I just want to get us all caught up for the 10 o'clock hour. Next up, we are going to hear some music from Danielle Corsi.
Daniel Kunz.
Oh.
Yeah,
is that right? Okay, same. Yep. Okay, perfect. And oh man, how would you say this song title? Sarabande
Hypnotique.
Yes, perfect. Sarabande Hypnotique. We are taking this from the SoundCloud page for Danielle, and we are going to listen to this right now here on Live from Cleveland. We are doing a preview of the upcoming Resound Festival that's going to be happening on June 9th through the 12th in venues around the west side of Cleveland. Here we go. You are listening to Live from Cleveland here on WRUW-FM. I'm Rachel H., and I've been being joined by Stephan Haluska from Uncommon Sound Project Cleveland. Cleveland Uncommon Sound Project.
Yeah, Cleveland Uncommon Sound Project, or CUSP, yes.
We're talking about the Resound Festival, the new and experimental music festival happening here in Cleveland from June 9th until the 12th. We just listened to Danielle Kuntz, who is going to be playing at Kaiser Gallery at 4 p.m. on June 11th. There's more information about the whole schedule of events online at uncommonsoundcle.com, as well as ticketing information. And one of the things that Stephan was saying to me too is that we're are totally trying to keep this accessible to the community so that people can come and enjoy and listen to maybe something different.
Yeah, and so all of our ticketing information you'll see that is on a sliding scale. So we don't want to, we want to make sure that everybody who wants to enjoy the music can enjoy the music, and so we want to try to reduce these financial barriers to accessing the arts.
On your website as well, you have a whole list of past events, playlists. And there is also the opportunity to donate to the nonprofit online as well. So I definitely encourage people to look more into the organization because it is kind of one of a kind here in Cleveland. And we were talking a little bit about how you got involved. You actually played Resound Festival a long time ago.
So I was involved very early on. I'm friends with one of the former directors, and was involved in an early fundraiser event with Lisa Morelli, another community musician, and I actually played their very first Resound Festival back in 2018 at the Magdalene in Slavic Village. I'm not sure what's happening over there, if anything, but yeah, it was a great place. Loved playing there. I've been a devoted fan and a collaborator with them for years. And then I was booking my own concerts, producing my own kind of stuff as well. And then I was also I joined forces with this other organization called Fresh Perspectives for maybe 3/4 of a season until the pandemic hit. And then we were kind of forced to go on hiatus, and then ultimately we dissolved. And so when news of the of this new hiring at CUSP at Cleveland Common Sound Project came, I was a strong candidate, and certainly they hired me as the managing director.
And you also have so much experience playing the harp. You are a harpist yourself. Is there somewhere online people can go to also listen to your music if they're interested?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm pretty Googleable. I have my name is hard to spell, so it's Stephan Haluska. It looks like Stephan, Stephan, Haluska, Haluska. I also just released with another project, and not my solo stuff, an EP with a 3-piece called Halumnen. That's Halumnen. Hard to spell, Halumnen. So you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and you can find us on Bandcamp. And it's harp and vocals and live processed all through Ableton.
We're going to be listening actually coming up next to the other project that one of your group members is in, Elephant Ornament, just here in a moment on Live from Cleveland. But I do want to just give a shout out to the last event of the series of events going on through the festival this next weekend, the June 9th through June 12th. On June 12th, there is a matinee show. I'm going to call it at Bop Stop.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that group that's going to be playing.
Yeah, so and on June 12th at 2 p.m. is our final show, and we're back at the Bop Stop. We love the Bop Stop. And with a larger group, a 6-piece called Pink Noise coming in from New York City. And they're playing a longer concert. So they're playing, every other artist is playing about a 30-minute set. But Pink Noise, they're playing about an hour-long set. They're playing 2 pieces. One, this well-known composition by this French composer who played with microtonality. If you don't know what that means, it's like detuning notes to kind of get the notes in between notes. So it's kind of really this kind of crunchy sound to it. And so they're playing a big piece by this composer Gerard Grisey, as well as a piece by this composer Jesse Cox that uses it's the ensemble with a lot of like live processing electronics. It's very cool, it's just like wild, all of these different kinds of sounds. And so, I'm really excited. It'll be an honor to hear them for a whole hour-long concert there.
Perfect. Well, this has been just such a great opportunity to have you come down and talk to us a little bit about ReSound as well as CUSP. Thank you so much for joining us. We have 2 more songs for you this evening, both from artists that are going to be playing on Saturday night, June 11th at 9 p.m. at Coda. First off, we're going to hear from Elephant Ornament from the album Juice Box. This is the song Count Me In. And this is also featuring another really well-known musician from Cleveland, Theron Brown.
That's right. Yeah, jazz pianist.
Beautiful. All right, let's take a listen to this, shall we? And then afterwards, we're going to go right into the next song by Nick Zulek. It's going to be the track Amplituhedron?
Amplituhedron?
Amplituhedron. I think
let's
you've
go with
nailed
that.
Yes.
Amplituhedron.
Nick Zulek is spelled Zoulek. You can find more music from him on SoundCloud. And we are streaming from Bandcamp for Elephant Ornament. You can get links to all of these artists' work at the CUSP website. That is www.uncommonsoundcle.com. And in their booklet, their program booklet for the ReSound 2022 festival, you can see all of those. So without further ado, here is Elephant Ornament with the song Count Me In.
Only one sale away from the Shopify 1000 Club.
Is that a thing?
Wow, Mom, have a cookie.
I'll take one.
We just heard from Elephant Ornament. There we go. I'm like, I knew there was another word to that.
Elephant Ornament.
Elephant Ornament.
We'll be playing on June 11th at 9 p.m. Dakota Show.
And that was Count Me In featuring Theron Brown. And then we're going to hear from Nick Zulik next here with his song.
Amplitahedron.
Perfect. All right. You are listening to Live from Cleveland here on WRUW-FM. For more information about Resound Festival, you can go look at all of their whole festival program, the schedule of events, at uncommonsoundcle.com. Stephen, I want to say thank you again so much for coming on the show. We're going to take you out tonight with this track. Next week on the program, we will be having music from Leah Mara and the Dreamcatchers. My good friend Spencer Paul is going to be joining us down here, as well as Leah Mara. So we're going to be looking forward to that. Back to live music next week. And that weekend, you can catch all of these amazing acts.
June 9th through 12th, yes.
Various locations around the city.
Yeah, find out more at uncommonsoundcle.com.
All right. Thanks for joining us tonight. And here is Nick Zulik to take us out.
Autumn presents
the first
Hey, check this out.
For the best in live music Cleveland has to offer, check out Live from Cleveland every Thursday from 10 to 11 p.m. We've been around for over 20 years and we're only getting better. That's this Thursday from 10 to 11, WRUW 91.1.
The music is killing me. The high and low fidelities are attacking my brain. And it's terrific.